Hello, hello. Okay, my last video of today, well, I may do one other. I'm trying to decide, but I wanted to talk. Sorry, I'm still working and trying to do stuff. So my last video, or what I want to talk about in this video, and this is just pretty much totally sidebar of what I've been talking about, experiences and stuff like that. This really is a feelings video. Like, so this one really is definitely a feelings video. But I wanted to talk about pregnancy twins. I think there are different like terms for them, things like that. And some people don't really care to have them or not or what, but I kind of wanted to talk about my pregnancy twin. This video is not going to be made public for a long time, if ever, because right now her pregnancy is private and not being shared with anyone. And it is not even if I kept her identity secret, which I will continue to do, people would be able to guess it. And anyway, I'm just not going to do it. So anyway, my pregnancy twin with my daughter, she is, well, because anyway, so she's in my husband's family. So I'm trying to remember, because I've known my husband's mom for a really long time. I've actually known my husband for a really long time. We dated before, broke up, and then got back together. Crazy, right? But it did happen, and we've been married going on 5 years. We've been together 7 years this time. So I've just been around them a long time, and I was trying to remember, like, when I actually first met this woman, and I can't remember, but I've known her a long time. I know at least 7 years, I know. But she doesn't live around here. She's nowhere close to me. So initially, I would just see her and that's the way it's always been, a few times a year. We didn't really talk outside of that, but always got along, sat down, had good conversation. I always felt like whenever we got together, family stuff or whatever, I always felt like it. And ironically, like when my husband and I started trying for my daughter, we found out that she and her husband, however, were also trying for a child as well. And I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. I think that we had found out that we were pregnant, but we had not announced, maybe. Or maybe we hadn't found. I don't remember exactly where I was with things, but then I found out that she was pregnant. And either way, so our due dates were a month apart. So my daughter was due October 12th, and her baby was due September, like early September. I forget what her due date was. I forget exactly. It was really early September. And the way that it turned out was her son was born on August. I always forget if it's the 30th or 31st, but I really feel like it's the 31st. And my daughter was born September 13th. So they're like 2 weeks apart, which is really cool. So once the announcements were made, for both of us, we really started, like, really honestly, because I'll be the first to admit, like, I'm an idiot to a lot of things. Like I said, I Google, but like, even though I had so much more time on my hands before I had my daughter, for whatever reason, I felt like I did not. And I have a hard time sifting through a lot of information, if I'm being honest. Like, I get overwhelmed. And this woman, I really need to name her. Let's call her Kay. I don't want to like put her identity out there, but let's call her Kay. I trust her like judgment. We have a lot of the same like mindsets on things and thought processes on things. So honestly, I just started reaching out to her and just asking her questions. Like, obviously she was farther along than me. And she was kind of further into her pregnancy than me. And I was like, I had questions, and I just started reaching out. I'm like, I don't mean to sound dumb. I don't mean to be a pest, but what do you think about this? Or what are you doing for that? Or what products are you using for blah, blah, blah. Like, I started reaching out to her. And then as a result of that, like her and I just started talking a lot about a lot of different things, which was great, and because that actually carried on into having newborns, you know, getting into solid foods, you know, just all these different things. We were going through a lot of the same phases or milestones or whatever at the same time. And so, like, to me, that is an invaluable thing that has unexpectedly developed in my life. Like, even though she doesn't live around here, we talk like every day, pretty much every day. And it's like wonderful to have that kind of bond and that kind of relationship, because to me, that's like beyond friendship. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah, we're family because I'm married into her family and everything like that. Like, we're family, but like we have our own relationship outside of that, which is wonderful. And it kind of goes beyond friendship because we shared our birth stories, and we all know some of that is like gory and gruesome. Like, we shared our birth stories with each other. Some of the things that you go through, like as a mom, it's like not glamorous, and sometimes you have nowhere to go to. And some people like don't need that at all. Like, I have a friend, she's a new mom. If she's expelling that somewhere and getting advice, or just, yeah, I don't know. Like, she kind of is within herself, and that, as far as I'm aware, she's not reaching out to me at all, even though I've been through it or whatever. She's not reaching out to me like at all, which that's her decision. Like, it's everybody handles things differently. But for me, like, the fact that I can just shoot a message or a voice message or whatever to Kay and say, oh my gosh, like, this is what we have going on now. Like, even faces like, oh my gosh, either one of us, oh my gosh, my baby just does not want to get bathed. You know, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, like, and she has a son and I have a daughter, so there's differences there. But, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, like, have you started potty training? Like, so-and-so is saying that I needed potty train, or so-and-so, or not so-and-so, but like for her, she's like, I know because her son is in preschool. My daughter is not in anything yet. We have ABC Mouse, and like I work with her a lot, but she's not like in anything yet. And, you know, like for her, she's like, oh my gosh, like I have to have him potty trained by such and such time because of this class and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, so we're kind of going back and forth, even though that experience is going to be different because she has a boy and I have a girl. You know, it's kind of like we go through a lot of the same things at very similar times. And some are completely different because all kids are different, you know, and that's just how it is. But to me, that has become like the most invaluable thing in my life, you know, especially in terms of like friendship and things like that. It's just like, oh my gosh, like I can't even, like, I couldn't pay enough for that. Like, it's just, I don't even know how to express what that means. I wish that we lived closer. I so wish that we lived closer, and so does she. Like, sometimes, like, we'll even, like, send a picture of our, like, coffee cups to each other and be like, I just wish that we lived closer and we could just go out on my porch and, like, watch the kids play. We could just do this, you know. It would just be amazing. She lives like 4 hours from me. So it just doesn't happen. And ironically, like, we never FaceTime or anything. My husband's like, have you FaceTimed with the kids? Well, you know what it's like FaceTiming with kids. Even though we want them to be close, and we send little videos or voice recordings or whatever back and forth so they can watch each other and listen to each other. It's like, no, because that would be chaotic, and that would only add stress to our lives. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we both know that. It's like, first of all, our schedules are different, so being able to actually sit down and make a call, that would just be really hard. So we do talk a lot, pretty much every day, and know exactly what's going on in each other's lives, but we don't ever call each other. But it's just, as a mom, that's so hard. And schedules are just crazy. That's just, so we do what works for us. And I think it's funny. And I think about that if we do get to, because the pandemic, I actually haven't seen her since, we haven't seen each other since the babies were little. It was their first Thanksgiving. So, were they 3 months? So September, October, November. No, and then we saw each other Christmas too. Yeah, that Christmas. So three months. My daughter was 3 months, and I guess her son was, you know, some change, you know, 3 months and some change, both of them. And we haven't seen each other since then, which is like a huge bummer, but we talk so much. It's like seeing each other. So this time, you know, she was kind of back and forth on trying for a second one. And then for a long time, because I wanted to start trying for another child at my daughter's first birthday. And like with the pandemic and a baby, like once you have a baby, you're just like, maybe let's wait. Maybe it's a little soon. And then also my medical stuff, we had to line up. Like I said, we had to like interview some doctors and figure out a plan of action to even see if it was feasible for us to try for another one, what we were going to do, what that looked like. So we didn't actually start trying until right before my daughter's second birthday. And then Kay was kind of back and forth of whether she wanted to do that or not. So at this point, you know, I think whenever I got pregnant, I think we were both trying. I want to say she was off again, on again, trying. Maybe that's what was going on, but we were trying consistently. And so I was like nervous, but anyway, I got a positive pregnancy test. Oh my gosh, like craziness, right? So, I actually shared my news with her, like at the same time as we shared with our mom. So actually what we did was we told both of our moms right away. And then we just kind of delicately had to tell them, like, we're not telling anyone else. And then they found out that we told Kay, or that I did. But I had my reasons. And again, like, we have shared so much. And like, that's like the aspect of life she's in on for me. You know what I mean? So, and she's not in any circles. And if I tell her I'm not telling anybody, she's not going to say a word to anybody. And if I experienced a loss, she would just be an amazing support system. So I was like, so she was told at the same time as like the moms. And then, since then we have told the rest of our immediate family. And then, like I said, we will be announcing publicly next week. I wanted to find out the gender. Since we were doing the genetic testing, I wanted to find out the gender and also give it a little more time, kind of get past like that 7-week mark, really, especially before the rest of the immediate family was told or anything like that. Like I was being more conservative about it this time than I was last time. And I felt like last time I was kind of conservative about it too. But I think our news slipped out a little bit last time as well. So I didn't want that to happen this time. So anyway, so the following month, like we found out that we were pregnant in January. And it had to have been February. And by then I was in full swing with a lot of my symptoms. And Kay started messaging me and she's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so nauseous. I'm so tired. What else was she having? Like, it was a lot of what I had, like, right away that started, like, keying me off. Like, I think I should pee on a stick. Like, I've got some things going on. And she had so much of it. Almost all of it. And I was like, girl, I am so sorry. Like, you're pregnant. And I'm so sorry that you have all these symptoms and all this stuff. And then she went and took a pregnancy test and it was negative. She took another pregnancy test. It was negative. So she wasn't pregnant. And I think that we were both disappointed because it would have been funny because it would have been in reverse this time. Because last time her due date was a month ahead of mine. And this time my due date would have been a month ahead of hers. And then obviously there's a very, very good chance that I'll go early. Like that, my doctor is literally just preparing for me to go early. We just don't want her, we don't want the baby to come too early this time. Where, you know, with my daughter, she came a month early. And I would be okay if this baby came three weeks early this time, because it would be 37 weeks. It'd be a lot safer. We could get the end of August. And then this baby's birthday would be between mine and my daughter's. And I'm just so scared I'm going to have this baby on my daughter's birthday. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because again, I don't remember when I mentioned that, like what video, but my daughter's birthday is September 13th and this baby's due date is September 19th. And I'm like, oh, holy cow. Ugh. But anyway, so some people love that. I'm not those people. I don't like that. I really wanted to have a birthday in May or June. And I say that because we have a lot of birthdays in our family. A lot of them are clustered in certain times of the year. And I was thinking whenever me and my husband started trying for a baby, September is open, May is open, and July there's only one birthday in there that we, that we celebrate. So if we absolutely have to do July, then there's that. But like I want May and September, and then I'm got 2 September. Whatever. And I'm like the only one in our family in August. So I'm like, well, if we go, it'll be close. Like what, either way, it's all going to be another cluster that I'm creating, but So anyway, back to my pregnancy twins. So we've just been like I said, just sharing things. I've just been sharing things with her, and just like kind of the journey. I've been kind of like what I'm doing here, I've been doing with her as well, just talking to her and telling her everything that I have to do, and it's just overwhelming and I need help. And of course she's like, I just wish I was there to help you. And I'm like, me too. And so anyway, it's just funny. And she has recently peed on another stick and it was positive. And I teared up. I didn't even tear up when my pregnancy test was positive. Not really. Like mine was a whole process though. That's like a whole story in itself. But like I'm literally flying that we're pregnant at the same time again. And it's so funny because she's already sending me stuff like, just so you know, this is how much caffeine is in a chai tea. And I'm like, oh yeah, like you're doing this with me now, because I've been doing it for like 2 months or 3 months, however long now, kind of by myself. Not really, but like now she's like, yeah, I can't have lunch meat, and okay, all these different things. And I'm like, it's just nice that you have like, it's like a buddy system. You're like, yeah, okay, we're going through it together. Okay, well, what are you struggling with and whatever. And she hasn't been hit with like the things that I have yet, which is wonderful, and I hope it does not happen for her. But it's just, to me, oh my gosh, it's so invaluable. And doing it with a second round of kids now, like, ugh, I don't know if she's interested in trying for a third, but if we try for a third, I'll be like, please, let's do it again. I'm kidding. You can't do that to people, but it's just wonderful. And I don't know if anyone else feels like that, having a pregnancy twin or whatever, but like, oh my gosh, like I just literally cannot put into words how awesome it is. It's so awesome. And it's so awesome that we're doing it a second time, even though like our due dates are 2 months apart now, but it's like, it doesn't matter. We're like doing it. Most of our pregnancy is going to be together. It's so awesome. So if you have a pregnancy twin, drop it below, tell me all about it. Right now it's March 14th. And so I don't know when this video is going to go public. Like I said, she hasn't announced. She's got to do all that. But I'm just excited and I want to express it somewhere. So here it is. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a lovely day and we'll see you next time.